Welcome to Schaumburg High School for the 50th anniversary edition of the Illinois High School Association Boys State Gymnastics Championships. Hello everyone, I'm Ann Penstone, and I'm so excited to be working with former national champion Diane Durham. And Diane, the team competition has actually already been completed, with Naperville North winning the state championship, followed by three-time winner Mundelein and first-time trophy winner Stevenson High School. It was kind of a family affair.
Yes, and it was quite a family affair as Coach Brad Forick of Naperville North dethroned three-time Mundelein champions, which is also coached by his younger brother Doug.
Finally, older brother got baby brother, and both parents were in the stands to watch, and that's such a highlight for them as well. And this afternoon was all about the individuals. There are 6 events competed in boys gymnastics, and they were competing to be in the top 10 to vie for his individual championship tonight. Along the way, an all-around champion was crowned. We're going to highlight 3 of the individuals for you. First, a senior from Naperville North, Adam Rommel.
You want to keep an eye on his vault, as he was the top scorer earlier today's competition with a 9.5.
And a young man who's been a pivotal key to Mundelein's recent success, Matt Mahalik, another senior.
Matt was solid on all 6 events this evening, and he also performed very well on the P-bars, scoring a 9.7 earlier today.
And the all-around champion was a sophomore from Crystal Lake South High School, Adam Furman.
Adam was the best of the best today in the earlier competition, and we get to see him compete on all 6 events this evening.
In fact, speaking of those 6 events, they'll be conducted in pairs, and the scores from this afternoon don't mean anything. In fact, they don't even have to do the same routine.
And they sure don't have to do the same routine. Some of them might upgrade their routines for more difficulty.
We're really looking forward to bringing you all the action, and the first 2 events will be the floor exercise and the pommel horse. We're back at Schaumburg High School, and our first competitor, fittingly, is senior Adam Rommel on the floor exercise.
And here it is, and his nice strength position, press to handstand. Very nicely done. Oh, difficult movement, double layout. A little trouble on the landing, but it's a very difficult skill. In boys gymnastics, they have to have one hold part, and that was his hold part, which was a scale. Finishes with a nice double bag dismount.
You'll see Adam plenty look at the smile on his face. He's underway, and he started off the meet, and I think it's fitting that a senior should do so, especially one from a state championship team. We'll be having 4 judges on each event. The high and low scores are thrown out, and then we average the other 2. We'll be trying to give you that average score as we go along, and you're looking at another fantastic gymnast, another one of our highlights. Boy, we know how to pick him, don't we? Matt Mahalik of Mundelein High School, and Matt was just named the senior gymnast here at the meet. And that's based on longevity of competition, sportsmanship, and quality of performance, and he certainly has been all of that for his team.
And he's also been a great team member.
Pommel horse, as you mentioned, is the balance beam in the men's event.
It is. It's a very difficult event to contain your balance, and you have to travel to one end of the horse all the way to the other. He's showing really good extension. Circle elements. And a press up to handstand dismount. Good routine.
As Matt leaves the competition area and shakes hands with Keith Christian from Elk Grove, another fine senior gymnast, we have the score for you for Adam Rommel, 9.0. So now we have the bar's been set as we look at Ross Bradley from Naperville North, one of the few freshmen in tonight's finals.
It looks like he's mentally getting himself ready to go.
Looks a little nervous to me, Diane.
Just a little bit.
Boy, wouldn't you be entering your first state championship and going to the finals. What an accomplishment for this young man.
Nice flexibility shown there in the split. Nice double twist with a stuck landing. Front handspring, front 1.5 twist. That was a good routine. He's competing out there like a seasoned veteran, Ann.
Well, Ross is part of the reason Naperville North, the state champions, and back-to-back go. The senior and the freshman for Naperville North as Brad Farrick gives him a pat on the back. The score for Matt Mihalik's routine on the pommel horse, a very respectable 9.1, which is very difficult to score 9s on the pommel horse. Mike McGrady. So right off the bat, we have 4 competitors, each of which has contributed to team trophies.
What I'm liking already about this pommel horse routine is his nice extension in his legs and how he's traveling very nicely up and down the pommel horse. Small break there. But all in all, that was a good pommel horse set.
Good point. The form is such an issue for the guys gymnasts, and that's very often the difference between winning and finishing second. The small things, the toe point, the form, the lack of form breaks, and of course certainly any touches, which would constitute falls and half-point deductions. Oh, we're going to have our first meeting of the night on that routine by freshman Ross Bradley, as we look at Matt Staley getting prepared to do his floor X routine. Matt's a fine competitor too, and one of the top all-arounders as well. This is hard for a gymnast to have to wait. Gosh, you know, you get all psyched, you're ready to go, and now you got to wait until judges are ready. I saw that all this afternoon as we would finish rotations, because you don't go to the next rotation until every event has completed that rotation. And of course, there are 6, 1 for each of the events. I think it's harder for a younger competitor than other. We have, of course, the top 10 scores and the ties, and here are their scores from this afternoon. Adam Rommel, who we highlight already, Ross Bradley, Matt Staley, who you're looking at there, Jay Herrick from Hersey High School, Duffy McManus, his teammate, Matt Mihalik, Lucas Buchholz, and Adam Furman, who we told you is the all-around champ, Chad Jaros, Brett Wargo, and Phil Zoomstein from Mundelein. Those are the competitors. As you note, there are 11 of them in this event. And there's Matt Staley, hoping he gets to go soon. We're waiting for scores from Matt McGrady's routine on the pommel horse. And Matt signals to the judges he is ready.
That was a very powerful double back somersault with wonderful height. Just a little bobble on the landing. Into a 1.5 twist punch front. Very nice into his flexibility move. Front handspring from layout front right into his scale. Nice extension in the scale. That was a powerful routine. I really liked his body positions and his extension.
Matt is from Woodstock High School, the northern area of the state. as are most of the gymnasts here in Illinois. Very few competitors for downstate, and I don't believe we have any here in tonight's finals. Mike McGrady's pommel horse score is also a 9.4. So we have a new leader in that event, Keith Christian, the senior from Elk Grove High School, who was a competitor in the all-around last year and made significant improvements to both his routines, and has been a top performer and was a contender for the all-around championship. And this is one of the reasons why. He's a very tall competitor.
I was just getting ready to mention that. I like his height because on the pommel horse, it really shows the extension throughout the legs and the body. And there's his flares going from one end of the pommel horse to the other.
Just needs to get off.
Very good routine.
Crowd showing its appreciation for the fine senior. What a gentleman. I talked to him a little bit earlier, and what a nice young man. The other team appear to be very appreciative of his efforts. Matt Staley's score from Woodstock was a 9.4, putting him into second place. The freshman Ross Bradley leading as you look at Jay Herrig from Hersey High School in Arlington Heights, just a sophomore. And boy, talk about improvements over a year. Coaches cannot believe how Jay Herrig has improved since his freshman year.
Very difficult tumbling pass. He made it look so easy. 1.5 twist to a front full. And as we can see, he is not lacking in the front tumbling department. And front tumbling is very difficult, and he's doing it very well.
A lot of difficulty for just a sophomore. All right.
To end with a double twist. A little form deduction in the double twist at the end, and then landing with the feet apart. But for the most part, that was a pretty good routine.
Good smile. He's congratulated by Duffy McManus, his teammate. And Keith Christian's score on the pommel horse is a 9.3 unofficially. Putting him into second as you look at Nick Stavros from Stevenson High School.
Now he has chosen to walk the pommel horse forward and back. Little slight knee bend in the circles, but right up to the handstand for that dismount. That was a nice routine.
And the first time we've seen that dismount tonight.
That went all the way up.
Uh-huh. And he is happy about that performance. That is great. You just love to see a young man or any competitor at the time, the ultimate competition, to hit the routine and then just see who's better.
And that's so true, Ann. You work so hard all year long for this one moment, and when you can perform it and do it.
When you can perform it at the right time, that's the key, right?
It sure is.
Oh, it's so hard. And unlike women's vaulting, for instance, and when we get to that, they only get one chance. One chance and you're out. And of course, one time in every routine. As you look at Duffy McManus, teammate of Jay Herrig, going back-to-back. Adam Rommel. Jay Herrig receives a 9.1 on his routine, moves him into third place. Now, this is Duffy's best event. He's an all-arounder, a junior, has been here competing in the finals since his freshman year.
And we see why. Double back to punch front.
It's his favorite event.
Look at that toe point. Little struggle with the press handstand. Needs to be held for at least 2 seconds. Just a little short on that. Oh, that's too bad. Front full to punch front. Just a little bit low coming out of that front full. and ending with a very high double back tuck.
Well, if it weren't for that fall, he really had a great routine going. And Duffy did a great job, and I know he punched up that routine as well.
He did, but like we talked about earlier, Ian, this is the finals, and you pull out all the stops here, and that's exactly what he was trying to do. And that double back, look at the height that he got, and just the one step on the landing. Powerful routine.
Good for Duffy. And here you have a look at Ryan Phelps, the first competitor for Hinsdale Central, the Red Devils. Another senior.
And he's doing his circular movements now on the end of the pommel horse. Small break there. Working his way into his dismount. And there his swinging elements are, and he's doing his circles, getting set up for his dismount with a stuck landing.
So senior Ryan Phelps takes us halfway through the pommel horse as you look at Matt Mihalik, the outstanding senior gymnast from Mundelein. What a very strong, compact young man. And he sports a haircut just like his coach. The score for Nick Stavros on the pommel horse, the junior from Stevenson, is 9.45, so he is the new leader in that event. Still leading over on the floor exercise is the 9.5 of Ross Bradley, the freshman from Naperville North. Of course, we're still waiting for Ryan Phelps to score and Duffy McManus from Hersey. The judges have a very difficult job. They have to look and score and write while they're doing. It's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach all at the same time. They're so well talented at this. They've been doing it for so long. In fact, one of the judges, Blaise Blasco, is finishing up his career tonight. And we are so thankful for all the contributions he's made over the years to gymnastics in the state of Illinois and to his school of Glenbard West High School. Duffy McManus, the score is an 8.8. And now you're looking at Matt Mihalik.
You can hear his teammates cheering for him.
Look at the height.
Power.
Whoa.
V-hold. Now that's very difficult to do, and he does it so well. Makes it look so easy, but your entire body weight is on your arms. So far, so good. Waiting for his last tumbling pass. What a fantastic routine.
I suspect we could be looking at a new leader here.
I think we might be.
Score on the pommel horse for Ryan Phelps of Hinsdale Central.
Taking another look at his last pass. Whip, whip, directly into a full twist with an excellent landing.
Senior from Downers Grove North High School, Ryan Jarlos.
He is a fine gymnast, and showing why he is the senior gymnast, putting on a show for us tonight. And now it's Ryan Phelps from Hinsdale Central. Actually, we believe this is Ryan Jarros from Downers Grove North.
He has nice rhythm on the pommel horse. Nice circles. He lifts his hips above the pommel. Little bump into it, but a good routine.
You know, the record on the floor exercise is held by Adam Rommel, who you saw complete earlier tonight. Not quite the same score for him this evening, 9.75. Oh, and 9.75 is the score for Matt Mahalik, tying the record of Adam Rommel and making him the new leader in the floor exercise.
And that floor routine, Ann, was really phenomenal. It was very nice.
It was worthy of that score, for sure. Lucas Buchholz, a senior from Barrington, one of the Broncos. We also like to let you know that the record in the pommel horse is actually a 10, the only 10 ever awarded in the state meet.
Maybe we might get lucky and see one of those this evening.
That's held by Josh Levin at Glenbard West. Oh.
Oh, Shushanova. That move is normally done by the female athletes. He performed it very nicely. His hips are extremely high in the air, and like I mentioned earlier, and that move is very difficult. Right, immediate press handstand.
A lot of strength in this routine.
A front 1 and 3. In a pike almost laid out position. And finishing up, getting ready for his last tumbling pass. Whip to tuck, nice landing.
A lot of breath holding in the audience as he did the 1.5, which ended up as a dive roll, but they were intentional.
They were intentional. And you really have to know where your body is on that move.
North, 8.95.
There's his whip to the back tuck with the stuck landing.
High School, Alex Short.
And that was Lucas Buchholz as saluting the judges from Downers Grove South, Alex Short. We have a couple of scores on the pommel horse. Ryan Phelps, 8.70, and Ryan Jaros, 8.95. This is Alex Short, a sophomore. How much time do they have to go over? And it's a short amount of time, usually no longer than 30 seconds, I believe, to remount.
That's correct. And then you get a warning at the 20 seconds in order to remount the apparatus.
Collect your thoughts. You can re-chalk. Obviously, most of them do. And we'll go right back where we were.
Doing his scissor movements now.
Lucas Buchholz, 9.6.
Finishing up with his circles. Getting ready for his dismount.
Some more height. Nice smile by the young man. He did a nice job after having the fall and coming back and picking up and finishing off strongly.
9.6.
Lucas Buchholz's score from Barrington was a 9.6. And now you're all-around champion. There's our first look at him. Adam Furman from Crystal Lake South. This will be his routine on floor X. And again, we will see him 5 more times. So he is fun to watch.
Nice height on that double back. A little out of control on the landing, but for that height, done very well. Handspring 1.5 twist. Nice body position in that press handstand. Punch front, punch front. Small hop on the landing.
Ooh, pulled that out.
He held on to that landing, so wouldn't have to take that step.
Whew. Tell you that, you saw a little low, and I'm thinking, oh boy.
But the good thing about athletes that can hold that landing, it means that they've either practiced it in the gym before, so they're used to that. I think we're taking another look at his last pass.
from Naperville North High School.
There it is,
Brad
1.5,
Karn.
and he holds on to it.
Salutes. And on to Brad Karn from Naperville North.
Wonderful extension in his circles that he's doing. Very nice.
I love.
He is very happy about that routine, and so is his coach.
I have watched Brad Farrick for years, coach girls gymnastics, boy gymnastics. He is so enthusiastic and so great for kids.
And there's his straddle circles again. Nice height over the pommels with a great landing. He's really excited about that routine.
Well, the score to beat over there is 9.45. Nick Stavros in the 4th position has held that, and we'll see if he can beat it. Alex Shores, his score was an 8.7, and Adam Furman on floor was 9.25 as you look at Chad Jaros of Naperville North.
Opened up with a double twist. And you can see the difference of that move from the one earlier. His hips were just a little bit lower. Now he's going to show us his hold move, which he's doing a scale. Having a little bit of trouble on it. And finishing up with the last pass, whip, whip to back tuck.
Competition, and we're looking at Peter Gill from Hinsdale Central waiting for his turn on the pommel horse. Oh, such a tough event. Next to last competitor on this piece of apparatus. 9.45 to beat.
His rhythm is really good right now. Circles. This is a very clean routine. Very clean. Nice extension, tight legs.
Big hug from his coach. Great job. Brad Karn's score was an 8.95 on the pommel horse as we await Peter Gill's. And Chad Jaros with a 9.3 on the floor.
Look at his tight form in those circles. Body position, very nice. Excellent landing. That was a very good pommel horse set.
Legs together, toes pointed is something you really notice on that event. Brett Wargo, the next to last competitor on the floor exercise from Hinsdale Central, a senior.
Great double bag, nice height. He performed it with his knees together and stuck the landing.
And he smiled when he finished it, too.
As you can see, he has nice toe point also. Good extension through the legs.
Certainly held that for the required 2 seconds.
He did. Full twist. Front hands out. Now he's setting up for his last tumbling pass. That was a whip to a back tuck, and he was attempting to do one more back tuck out of that, and unfortunately had a fall there. But he's okay.
Ooh, that shook him up a little bit. As he catches his breath, we'll take a look at
There's the first whip to the second whip, and he gainered it forward just a little bit, which in turn made him have that fall.
little back arch, which certainly luckily got his hands down in front to help catch that fall, but I'm sure he's going to be a little bit sore tomorrow.
More than likely.
As we wait for those scores, we'd like to let you know that Chad Jaros of Naperville North at a 9.3 on floor exercise. And you're looking at Adam Furman, the final competitor in the pommel horse. Again, your all-around champion. Adam's already competed with a 9.25 on the floor X. Having a little bit of judges conference over there. And let's take a look at some of those judges. Vic Vigilano, Blaise Blasco, who he mentions retiring, John Brinkworth, Richard Cromwell, Dave Donaldson, Robert Ferguson, Al Galati. Al is one of the superior judges, as is Ed Raymond, Robert Russell, Howard Sokol, Tom Neville, John Probeck, and C.J. Johnson. I tell you what, it is an honor to be here as a judge as well. You have to have proved your worth, and you, I know, as a national judge and newly appointed. What was the name of that again that you allows you to do international?
I am now a brevet judge,
which is an incredible accomplishment. Congratulations to you, Diane. And I know a number of these judges also work at the national level as well. It's not easy. Many states don't have gymnastics for boys, and Illinois being one of the premier states for this competition. Adam Furman from Crystal Lake South.
Now he has good rhythm on the pommel horse also, moving up and down, back and forth. Nice form. He also has very tight form, tight legs, pointed toes.
He also has a new score to beat, because you mentioned that you really liked the way Peter Gill was moving on the pommel horse, and so do the judges, 9.55. So let's see what Adam can do to top that.
I like the height of his hips over the pommels, and as he's doing all this, he still maintains tight, clean form.
Representing Mundelein High School, Phil Zumstein.
So Adam Furman will need a 9.55 or better to tie or beat Peter Gill. As you look at the final competitor on these two events, Phil Zumstein from Mundelein High School.
1.5 twist. Wide arm press. This is very difficult also. You can tell by the muscles in his shoulders that he's very strong, that he's able to perform that movement.
Score to beat is his teammates, 9.75, Matt Mihalik.
Showing us his whole position. He's chosen a scale as well.
And his final pass.
Whip, whip, the back tuck. Stuck landing.
Good job by Phil Zumstein. One of the Mustang contingents from Mundelein.
Round off whip, his last pass, and he takes it straight up and sticks the landing.
And we'll be back after this message from Country Insurance for the awards for all-around pommel horse and floor exercise.
Score on the floor exercise for Phil Zumstein of Mundelein High School, 9.4. At this time, we'd like to present the awards. First of all, for the all-around competition. Could we have the top 5 winners for the all-around competition position themselves between the...
There's the runner-up in the all-around, Matt Mahalik, the outstanding senior gymnast. The senior from Mundelein High School being congratulated and awarded his medal from all-around competition earlier today. And the all-around champion, the sophomore from Crystal Lake South High School, Adam Furman. As he approaches in the all-black, the crowd gives him a well-deserved round of applause on his terrific performance this afternoon, and he's not doing badly tonight either. Because on the final performance on the pommel horse, he's going to win that as well.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
The runner-up in the floor exercise, a senior from Barrington with a score of 9.6, Lucas Buchholz. Being awarded his medal by Athletic Director for Schaumburg, John Selke. And the 2001 floor exercise champion is Matt Mahalik, the senior from Mundelein High School with a 9.75. And Diane, you mentioned right as you watched the routine, it had the potential to be the winner. There's your Floor X champion, Matt Mahalik. The runner-up in the 2001 pommel horse competition, probably the most difficult here at the championship, from Hinsdale Central High School with a 9.55, Peter Gill. He is a senior, so this is his last competition in the state meet. And he made it count. Next to last competitor finishes in second, and he is a happy young man as you look at that smile as he congratulates his other competitors.
And now the 2001 Illinois
Adding to his all-around championship and taking an individual crown, the fine, outstanding sophomore from Crystal Lake South, and the last competitor in this event with a 9.7, Adam Furman. Talk about knowing what you have to do and then putting it down. Adam has done it and proved it more than once here in this competition. I'd also like to mention that his score in the all-around of 56.85 is the second best all-time in the state. So what a meet he's having. There's your 2001 pommel horse champ. Crandall. The first competitor on the still rings is Zach Crandall, a senior from Glenbard West High School. Zach is the nephew of Don Crandall, who is an athletic director in the district.
That was a cross move that he just performed a little earlier. Press up to handstand, little bent arms. Back to an L hold. Press it up and double back dismount. Couple of steps on the landing, but he saved it. He didn't fall down.
That grin, he's looking at like, phew, didn't sit. I didn't sit.
That's right, saved that dismount.
The only apparatus, as you mentioned to me earlier this evening, that moves.
It is swinging the rings, but the key with rings is you want the rings to swing, but when you get back up to the handstand, that's why they're called the still rings. You shouldn't be swinging back and forth.
That's the whole key to trying to make it work. There you see Lucas Buchholz, a senior from Barrington. He'll be the first competitor on the vault. One vault, long horse.
Front handspring, pipe front. Done nicely, a little bit low on the landing with just the one hop, but that's a difficult vault. And he made it look clean, tight form. Just the one hop on the landing.
Of course, pre-flight and post-flight, and there's a lot of distance to clear. And
It is.
These kids have a lot of speed going into this. The vault certainly moves quickly. You get one vault, they judge it, it's on to the next one, and Nick Stavros will be the next competitor on the still rings. Of course, they're quite a ways up there, so most coaches have to lift the competitors so they can reach them, make sure they're still when they start, and then everything's up to the competitor after that.
Exactly.
Nick is from Stevenson High School. And getting ready to put him up there, and let's just wait a second. Now he salutes the judge.
Score on the still ring for Zach Crandall of Glenbard West, 8.95.
And Zach Crandall's score of 8.95 becomes the score to beat in the still rings.
Stevenson High School.
Now Don's nephew starts it out well.
Stavros.
Now we're ready to go.
Making sure he's real still. Cross. And what we're looking for in that cross is to be all the way horizontally across, a little bit above the horizontal, but very, very difficult element. Front giant, right up to the handstand, very nicely done. To a layout dismount. Clean routine.
And he's pleased with it. Nick is a junior.
Score on the vault for Lucas Buchholz of Barrington, 9.3. Next up on the vault, the senior representing Naperville
There's
North
his
High School.
giant right into his
Ramos.
layout dismount. And a nice finish to that routine.
And he was happy with it. State record in the vault is 9.8.
That was a layout Sukahara. Nice tight body position, nice height. That was an excellent vault.
And that was Adam Rommel of Naperville North, one of the seniors we highlighted in the Open. That record of 9.8 is held by Rob Brown and Addison Trail in 1982. One of several individual titles that Rob collected during his tenure at Addison Trail. And that's Alex Schorsch from Downers Grove South High School, just a sophomore. Again, his second event of the evening.
Score on the still ring for Nicholas Stavros of Stevenson, 9.4.
9.4 for Nick Stavros on the still rings.
Representing Downers Grove South High School, Alex Short.
Lucas Buchholz's score was a 9.3 from Barrington on the floor. I'm sorry, on the vault.
Giants right up to the handstand. Little trouble in the body position. Slight arch in the lower back. To a planche. That is very difficult to do. And he performs it like it's very easy. Press back up the handstand.
Rings much more still for him.
Giant. Setting up for his dismount. Double back.
All right.
That was an excellent ring routine.
And a nice hand. You hear the coach go, yeah. Because he knew when he stuck it that he had a good performance.
Good strength movements.
Score on the
Good
vault
dismount.
for Adam Rommel.
He had it all in that
Naperville
routine.
North, 9.35.
Giant. We're setting up for our
The
dismount.
junior representing Barrington
Double back.
High School, Dan Herman.
Just a little hop.
Just a slight hop, but for that routine, very good.
Adam Rommel scores a 9.35. The last vaulter as you look at Dan Herman of Barrington.
That was a Sukahara laid out also. A little bit low with the chest on the landing. but got pretty good block and height off the horse.
Barrington, an excellent team. We're hoping to come as a team here to this event, just a little bit short this year. As you look at Keith Christian, the fine senior from Elk Grove, third in the all-around competition. The waiting's got to be the worst, but they don't wait too long. These judges are terrific, moving things right along and keeping the athletes with the momentum.
Next up on the still rings, the senior
that really helps their
representing Elk Grove
participation.
High School, Keith Christian.
Again, this is one of the taller gymnasts, so you'll see a little bit longer lines in his routine. He's a very lithe young man, but he's very strong.
Up to his cross. And like we mentioned earlier, the rings, he's keeping them really still. Nice body position in the handstand. Giant right back up. And another. Should be setting up for his dismount.
Oh, we are looking at a good score here.
That is a very difficult dismount he just performed. Stuck the landing. Here we go for the giant.
Score on the vault for Dan Herman.
And as we're setting up for our dismount, full out with an excellent landing. That dismount is extremely difficult.
And you could see very little movement in the rings. And what I've noticed about Keith Christian throughout the competition is his toe point and his legs are very rarely separate.
And bent, they're always extended and pointed.
Daru Pavel from Mundelein executing that vault.
That was Pike Sukahara. Performed well. Little side step off on the landing, which would in turn that his half on didn't get turned all the way around. But performed nicely.
Daru is trying to beat the newly top scorer of Dan Herman of Barrington.
Score on the still rings for Keith Christian of Elk Grove High
Just a little
School,
bit more half turn. You see he's just off just a little bit, which makes him step to the side.
Next up on the still rings, a sophomore from Crystal Lake South High School, Adam Furman.
Well, as you look at the rings, there is a new leader, as we suspected. Keith Christian of Elk Grove Village has set the bar a little bit higher for Adam Furman, who is capable of reaching it.
He is capable of this. He did really well on them in the prelims earlier today. Nice iron cross. Press to handstand. He has nice toe extension and leg form also.
Scary part is he's just a sophomore.
He can only get better with time, and he's doing really well this weekend.
Oh, stuck landing. This will be interesting.
This can be very interesting.
Well, the judges will have to make a decision here because those are two back-to-back wonderful routines.
Score on the vault.
Okay, he's setting up here for his dismount. Double back with a rock-solid landing.
Well, that landing may make the difference. He certainly had some strength as you look at Jared Erlenbaugh, a junior from Hoffman on the vault. 9.65 Keith Christian on the still rings and a 9.55 Alex Schwartz.
That was another pike souk as well. Nice height off the horse with just the one step on the landing. Powerful run. Opens out, chest just a little bit low with the one step. And like you were mentioning earlier, Ann, you do have a long way to clear that horse. And you have to make sure you have a powerful block.
Crystal Lake South, 9.6. Next up on
Well, the judges have made a tough decision and have decided that Adam Furman's routine was a 9.6. So by 0.05 of a point, Keith Christian holds the lead in that event with Mike Partapillo from Glenbard West, the next competitor.
There's his cross. He's just a little bit high. Like what we're looking for is for it to be right into the horizontal. There it is, a lot closer on that one. That's the handstand. A little bit of trouble there, but he saved it right into his dismount.
You know, we talked about the best of the best. You mentioned in the open, and it's so nice to see people sticking dismounts, hitting routines. And there's so much pressure on these young men. They're the only person participating in the gym with everybody watching. But you know what that's like.
I do know what that's like, and you know what? It's just a thrill that all of these fine young men are here competing. They're all cheering for one another, and it's just a good atmosphere here tonight.
That's a good point. They really do know each other. It's a small, very, you know, it's sort of a society of its own.
It is.
Oh!
Handspring front tuck.
Nice.
Nice height, tight legs, tight form in the tuck.
That was a good vault. Mike McGrady, the junior from Stevenson High School, with Dan Herman's 9.45, the high score so far.
And let's take another look at this vault. Nice, tight, look at that tight tuck. Landed a little straight-legged.
Score on the still range.
Anticipated the floor was a little bit farther out from him, but nice height off the vault. Nice tight tuck. I really like that form.
And those front vaults, you know, they're blind, they come out. It's just amazing to me how well they can do that. Andy Erskine has been announced from Hinsdale Central. The last score by Mike Partapillo was 9.25. 9.65 by Keith Christian, still your leader.
Nice cross. He has nice extension in his legs. Tying up. Slight arch in the lower back. Getting ready for our dismount. Another nice routine. These kids, like you said, are fighting for these landings. They are going to get every 10th that they possibly can.
Well, it's a good thing because that's going to be the difference tonight. When you get 10 of the best, there isn't much to separate them.
Score on the vault for Michael McGrady of Stevenson High School, 9.5. Next up on the vault is a junior representing Lincoln Way High School, Dan Dwyer.
Jared Erlenbaugh's score was 9.15, and a new leader. You mentioned you liked that vault, and this is what the judges thought. 9.5 from Mike McGrady with Dan Dwyer up.
Layout Sukahara. A little slight knee bend.
Dan is from Lincoln Way High School in New Lenox. As you look as his coach, I was saying to Diane earlier that so many of these coaches for the boys gymnastics look like they could go out and compete themselves still. It's really a testimony to the things that they have to do to prepare their athletes.
Let's take one more look at this vault.
Score on the still range for Andy Erskine.
Layout. There's just a little slight knee bend as he's coming around for the landing.
Next up on the
But he had great height off of the horse.
Naperville North High School.
And Andy Erskine's score on the still rings was a very nice 9.3 for the Hinsdale Central senior. And Adam Rommel, the Naperville North senior, getting a leg up from Brad Farrick, his coach.
Nice planche position. Right into the cross. Two strength elements right in a row, very difficult. Press it up to handstand. Good. Giant. Little minor body position there.
Oh,
And there, but there's that dismount.
bought another one. Brad goes, yeah, way to go.
That was a really nice ring routine.
Score on the pole.
Just a little bobble there.
Dwyer of Lincoln Way
Body
High School,
position break. But then he goes
9.3.
right into this dismount.
Next up on
That
the
is
ball,
stuck
a senior
perfectly.
representing Mundelein High School, Matt Mahalik.
Dan Dwyer, the junior from Lincoln Way, received a 9.3, and here's Matt Mahalik from Mundelein.
That's the Sukahara. Laid out. A little bit of a direction problem, which is what caused him to step off the side of the mat.
See the matching haircuts? Like coach, like athlete, not father and son.
All right, let's take one more look at this. He has on and blocks just a little crooked, which in turn, that's why he's a little off balance and has to step off the mat. And that will be a deduction.
A freshman from Naperville North.
Adam Rommel's score in the still rings was also a 9-3, so back-to-back 9-3s for Andy Erskine and Adam Rommel, bringing up Ross Bradley, the freshman from Naperville North, who had such a nice floor X routine.
Strength position, the flange.
A little bit different version of a move than we've seen tonight.
Nice body, swinging, getting set up for his dismount.
He does not act like a freshman. Oh.
And I think you and I were thinking the same thing. He does look like a seasoned veteran out there.
He is very mature in his performance.
For Matt Mahalik of Mundelein.
Let's look at that dismount one more time.
9.05.
Nice
Next
height.
up on the vault is a sophomore representing John Hersey
Double back.
High School, Jay Harris.
With just the slight step on the landing. Nice routine.
Matt Mihalik's score for the vault was a 9.05 and brings up sophomore Jay Herrig from Hersey High School in Arlington Heights.
That was a Sugihara with a full twist. That was a very difficult vault. You can see his coaches are happy for him, even though he had the little knee drop. That vault is very difficult.
You got to go for it. Yeah, this is the time to put it out there, and Coach Mark Saborowski has been working really hard with these kids, particularly the last 2 weeks, and in the first-year coach has brought them to state, and this is one of the reasons why.
Let's take one more look. A little bit open. His tuck is just a little open. And, you know, he might have needed a little bit more block off the horse, but for the most part, it was a wonderful vault because it's a very difficult vault.
9.4.
Score on the still rings for Ross Bradley of Naperville North, 9.4. The next competitor on the still rings is a senior representing Mundelein High School, Matt Mahalik.
Look at Adam Furman from Crystal Lake South High School. We have more vaulters than we do still ring competitors. Ross Bradley's score was a 9.4, the freshman from Naperville North. And we have one competitor left, and he certainly is an outstanding one, Matt Mahalik. There he is, signaling the judges, and he will be the final competitor in the rings, the score to beat. Keith Christian's 9.65.
Swing up to L hold, right into the iron cross. To the handstand. A little arch in the body position and the lower back. To the double back dismount.
Just a little bit of trouble on the last two dismounts from Matt. Maybe looking a little fatigued.
Just a little bit. Rings is, you know, strength, all upper body.
Next up on the vault will be
he didn't have much rest after the vault either.
Had to come right over and compete there.
That was Adam Furman from Crystal Lake South.
And that was a Sugihara layout also. We're having a little bit of trouble with our landings on vault.
It's kind of like a disease. Once it starts, you all of a sudden see the next couple. It really is. It's kind of catchy. You see it more within teams on rotations. If somebody gets good rhythm going, everybody else kind of gets the same rhythm.
Final score on rings.
Score on the still rings for Matt Mahalik of Mundelein, 9.2.
Matt Mahalik still ring scores a 9.2. So unofficially, the winner will be Keith Christian. In second, Alex Shores from Downers Grove South. I apologize. Adam Furman in second, and third, Alex Shores from Downers Grove South. We'll await the score for Adam Furman. There are still two competitors to go in the vault, since we had 12 competitors with ties from this afternoon's qualifying. And there's Chris Weiss of Rolling Meadows. Coach Vic Vigliano, longtime coach from the Meadows Mustangs, has had a lot of competitors here at State over the years. Jay Herrick's score was a 9.1 on his vault, which obviously was difficult because he had to take 5/10 from the fall. So.
Next up on the vault will be a senior representing Rolling Meadows High School, Chris Weiss.
Chris Weiss.
Stavros and Bradley. 8.95 for Furman on vault.
Now that was a very nice layout. So he performed that vault very well. He had a nice, powerful run, blocked off the horse. Landed with his chest up. Let's see here. Tight legs and a half on, stretched body, chest is up. With only the one step on the landing. He performed that vault very well.
And a little bow to the judge. And our final competitor in the vault this evening will be B.J. Macias, a senior from Willowbrook High School and Villa Park. There are some of the stands, people in the stands, and it is a very knowledgeable crew here as well. And all these people come out to support these gymnasts throughout the year, and it is so appreciated by the kids themselves and the coaches. It is a ton of work. Gymnastics is not a couple-month season. It is a year-round.
I see BJ has some fans in the crowd there. They have their signs of good luck to him from his well-wishers that are cheering him on to an excellent vault.
And it makes such a difference, as you know, when you hear your name announced and when the crowd is for you.
It does. Handspring front tuck. A little low on the landing, but he fought for the landing, stepped back, and stood it up.
As we wait for BJ, the score for Chris Weiss was a 9.5.
5 competitors in the still rings and the vault.
Just a little low. Didn't get quite the height that he would have liked for, I'm sure. His block was just a little low, but he saved the landing with that one step back.
And on the vault, if you would please position yourself on the floor between the horizontal bars.
And there you have, the competition has been completed in 4 of the 6 events. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
sophomore.
There you see fourth and fifth, but the runner-up this year in the still rings in a very tight contest is the sophomore, the all-around champion, Adam Furman from Crystal Lake South with a 9.6. Adding to his already impressive resume for this competition.
And now the 2001 Illinois High School.
And the 2001 still rings champion, the senior from Elk Grove Village, 9.65, Keith Christian, with the long lines and the tight body and the pointed toes.
And what an impressive still ring routine that was.
There he is, the still rings champ, 9.65, Keith Christian.
Furman.
And third place in the vault, 12 competitors, and he was third. Dan Herman, the junior from Barrington, 9.45. So tough to hit that one vault this one time, and he did it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the 2001 Illinois.
And there's a little room for the top because
In the ball.
we have a tie. For the state championship, there will be two atop the podium. From Stevenson High School, the junior Michael McGrady. The scores will be 9-5 for both. And they will share the gold. And Chris Weiss, the senior from Rolling Meadows High School, also with a 9.5. Great job of the vaulters.
And all of the vaults that we saw performed here tonight were all very impressive.
Look at the smiles. It has got to be such an incredible relief. All the hours you put in. Look at that smile by Mike McGrady. There you have the award winners in the vault. The fourth of 6 events here this evening. And it's picture session time. They've turned down the lights as they've done for each of the awards presentations, making it very classy and unbelievably well run by Mary Beth Westland here at Schaumburg High School and all of her crew. She is the meet director and puts on an incredible show.
And next, Dr. Sharon.
Here are the dynasties of gymnastics. In the 70s, it were the Red Devils of Hinsdale Central. And then the Trailblazers from Madison Trail in the 80s and Mundelein in the 90s. What history we have seen here. And Mundelein is the latest in a long line of dynasties.
A sport, a winning attitude campaign.
And of course, we're celebrating 50 years of this tournament. And there have been many changes along with the dynasties. There have been changes in the competition and the events. We used to have the trampoline. The floor exercise used to be called the free X. And before that, it was tumbling.
And of course, the attire has changed for the men. We used to have overalls and all of that. Now they just wear the pants.
There is something special that is awarded at each state tournament, as you see Dr. Sharon Cross, the principal of Schaumburg High School, and Dr. Denny Garber from Hoffman Estates High School. It's a sportsmanship banner. You see the symbol of sportsmanship, Attitude, who is usually here in costume, touting sportsmanship, but it is something the IHSA has paid particular attention to over the last few years to try to encourage positive exchanges amongst competitors, between fans and the officials and parents, because we all need to remember that it is only this other half of education is sports here in the high school ranks. So each of the schools who has demonstrated sportsmanship here at the tournament during their 2 days of competition, this includes the coaches, the fans, and the competitors, will each be awarded a sportsmanship banner to hang in their gym over the next year. Hinsdale Central, 9 team titles over the history of this 50-year tournament. Addison Trail was 7. Arlington High School is closed, and of course those students eventually split and went to either Prospect or Hersey High School, helping both of those schools. The Trevians of New Trier in 4th, and of course at that point they had not split into East and West, and Mundelein in the 90s has just come up to the top of the ranks. As you look at team titles, quite an impressive display. And now a message from Country Insurance. And And we are getting ready for the final two events of tonight. That would be the parallel bars and the horizontal bar, also called the high bar. And two of the tougher events, but some of the more swinging elements, and certainly the highest element with the horizontal bar as you look at Lucas Buchholz from Barrington, first up on the P-bars.
Working really well with his mount. One little step there with the hand in the handstand. To straddle cut. Immediate other straddle cut right up to the handstand. Into a layout half dismount with a stuck landing again that we've been seeing all night.
Very nice start for the senior. The record is held by Mark Jones of Conant in 1988. Many of these records are pretty old. 9.70. And now up on the high bar, Keith Christian, who has one championship tonight and would like to add a second. This is one of his best events, and again, his height makes it very impressive.
Giant half. Healy, he is swinging very nicely, very fluid. Stalter, immediate. Should be setting up for his dismount here. Hecked over the bar. And that was a nice start for everyone on the high bar.
Boy, put the pressure on early. He had a 9.7 in the prelims, so he is capable of the big score.
Here we go. The front giant right into his heck dismount. Over the high bar to that incredible landing.
I believe he's the only competitor to use that dismount in this competition. And of course, it has nothing to do with the scores in the prelims as to what order, as you look at Ryan Giles from Downers Grove North, the next competitor on parallel bars. It is a random draw. Well, it used to be a draw, but now that we're in the techno world, what the computer does is in the program, it just whirls and whirls and whirls, and a designee says stop, and where it stops, that's the order. Exactly. So it's the luck of the computer.
Glide kip to the handstand, right into a giant circle. And another one. He's moving very nicely on the parallel bars. And that's unfortunate because the bar routine was going very nicely. So now he's going to go back over to the chalk, collect his thoughts, and finish up this routine.
Held that one.
He did save it to the layout dismount.
So close to the dismount when he fell him, but he came back nicely and finished with a nice smile.
9.7.
Well, Keith Christian has been awarded 9.7, equaling his prelim score, and has set the challenge. He's thrown down the gauntlet for all those on the horizontal bar. Adam Rommel, Naperville North.
Now, if you notice, he starts a little different from the dead swing and swings himself. Right to a free hip, giant. Press it over. That was a very difficult move he just did. That's why it was a little bit more difficult for him to go over. And that was an attempt at a double layout dismount. Very close to it. There was a lot of turning movements in that high bar routine. And giant. Just didn't have enough oomph to get it around, but great efforts by Adam.
Lucas Buchholz, the score was a 9.4 on parallel bars as we wait for that for Ryan Jaros, as well as Adam Rommels on the horizontal bar. You're looking at Matt Staley, the sophomore from Woodstock. We've received a new order for parallel bars. You won't notice the difference because it happens at the end. So all the officials here working together to make sure that everything is correct. And in a timely fashion was given to us quickly. More compliments from Mary Beth Westland and the fine staff here. I'm telling you, it's hard to imagine the numbers of people that go into making a state meet run as efficiently as it does. Sue Henriksen is the IHSA representative, but it's the local people who really bear the brunt of all the effort, from custodial staff to the secretarial staff and all the kids who help.
Next up on the parallel bars is a
8.7 for Downer Grove North's Ryan Jaros, and of course, figure a half-tenth or a half-point deduction. We're looking at least a 9.2 before that. So Matt Staley.
Right, straddle cut. Nice body position in the held handstand. Little bent arms there. You can hear his teammates cheering him on. To another straddle cut. Right back, pressed up to the handstand. Setting up for his dismount, which is a double back tuck.
Oh.
That was a very good routine. Went for the more difficult dismount, the double back tuck. Very nice. Performed very nicely, just a little bit over-rotated. Tried to catch himself to stand up and didn't get his foot back there quite in time.
8.75.
There we see a very nice tight tuck. Tried to save it, stepped back, and just fell down.
Score for Adam Rommel was an 8.75, and that, of course, included the touch, which considered a fall in the dismount as well.
That's
so
correct.
Add a half a point. You're looking at Ian Morris from Hinsdale Central.
And that's a free hip half. Slight arm bend on some of his giant on that move that we just saw. His rhythm, he's moving very nicely. Heely to Heely. Now he's setting up for his dismount. Double back dismount. Couple of steps on the landing. He was about to over-rotate it, but he saved that one also with the 2 steps back.
Boy,
Clean routine.
Think of the momentum built up, the centrifugal force as they release from that high bar and all that momentum going forward.
Right. Let's take one more look at it. Double back. Nicely performed, but was just about to over-rotate it, but he saved it with those couple of steps backwards. Good efforts.
Score on the parallel bars for sophomore Woodstock, Matt Staley, 8.9.
8.9 is the score for Matt Staley of Woodstock, the sophomore on parallel bars. As you look at the next competitor on that event, Matt Mihalik. And this will be Matt's final performance of his high school career, and it certainly has been a stellar one.
That it has been. And he is excellent on this piece of apparatus. So far, he's doing a wonderful job. Tight body, tight legs, good body position. Press to handstand. Now he's going to set up for his dismount.
Oh,
And there it is.
I think we're looking at our new leader.
That was an incredible parallel bar routine. Everything was always under control. He was always tight. And nice dismount, just a slight hop on the landing.
Ian Morris, 9.05.
What a terrific finish to his career, as Coach Doug Farrick congratulates him. That has been a young man that has been crucial to the run of 3 state championships. He hasn't been part of all of them, but certainly a big part of why they've been successful. 9.05 for Ian Morris on the horizontal bar as you look at Ross Bradley, a freshman from Naperville North. What a future he has here.
Now he has nice lines in his body as well. He's pushing up all the way through the handstand. There's no arch in his back, front stalder, right into a Healy. Difficult combination. Good. Just a little leg separation there. Had a little bit of trouble on that front giant. Had to bend his arms to get over. But he's finishing up. Getting set up for his dismount.
Oh,
That was incredible, dismount.
he generated a lot more speed than some of the competitors.
He did, and knew how to control it to land it just right.
Boy, that is one tough freshman, Ross Bradley from Naperville North. And the score for Matt Mahalik, 9.55. And as we suspected, that is your new leader on the parallel bars.
9.55. Next up on the parallel bars.
That's Ross Bradley waiting for his score as you look at the score from Matt Mahalik posted there. And the smile by Brett Wargo from Hinsdale Central, another senior in his last performance at state.
Straddle cut right up to the handstand. And he has definite control over his movements on the parallel bars. Tight form. Half pirouette right into a layout, half dismount. And I think as we go on this evening, the routines just keep getting better and better and better.
And of course, Brett Wargo and Matt Mahalik, that's their last competition on the parallel bars as seniors, but we're going to see them both on the horizontal bar. Score for the freshman, Ross Bradley, moves him into second place with a 9.2.
Representing Crystal Lake South High School, Adam Furman.
Adam Furman. He will be the last competitor on parallel bars, but right now, let's look at him on the high bar.
Front stalter. Nice speed in his giants. Front stalder. To the giant. To a Tkachev. That's the first release element we've seen this evening. He attempted it for the finals. Unfortunately, he missed it, but it's wonderful that he went for it. You know, we were watching him in warm-up, and he did catch it in warm-up. And it's just unfortunate that at that moment, he was just a little bit too far away from the bar to get it.
Little chalk dust in the eye, cleared out and ready to go. He certainly disappointed, but that should not detract from the incredible night that he's had, as well as a great bar routine to that point. See if he can finish up strongly.
And he will. He's a true competitor. Giant. He's going to try it again.
We'll be back after these words from your local station. Well, a tough series of events for Adam Furman, who had to remount twice, but he did manage to stick his dismount.
That he did. It was an impressive double back dismount, and he actually kicked out into his landing.
And this is Dan Dwyer from Lincoln Way High School on the parallel bars.
A little bit of a form problem in his mount. A little bit loose, but he's working well. Press up to handstand. Half pirouette. Setting up for his layout half dismount. Just the one step. Just a little loose in the knees, but his rhythm was smooth.
Coach puts his arm around him and said, "Fine job, young man," as well we are saying the same. Adam Furman's score, 8.35 on the horizontal bar. And the next competitor on the horizontal bar is Justin Graham, a senior from Hersey High School in Arlington Heights, being helped up by Mark Siborowski. Justin, again, a very tall gymnast, had a myriad of injuries, the latest of which has been some ankle injuries that he has battled back from to be here tonight. Had a great prelim.
And that's one of the things that I really admire about these athletes is that when you do get injured, You know, you continue to still go into the gym to work on the events, such as high bar, that wouldn't affect his ankle. Unfortunately, right there, he just had a little bit of problem with his front stalder. But as I was saying, you know, to go back in and to continue to work out, that shows a lot of merit on their side.
To regroup, you know, these kids are anywhere from 15 to 18 years old, and it is so tough to have put so much time, and the pressure that I think you put on yourself, particularly at this age, has got to be tremendous.
Well, of course, you know, you always want to do the very best job that you can. And like we spoke earlier, you know, it's for this one moment.
I love his coach's attitude. He always says, we're having fun. We're going to have fun. And that's what
right.
it's all about.
That's exactly right. That's what it is all about. So he gets back to remount, to refinish his routine. Front giant. There's his front stalder. Right into the Healy. And he has nice lines also. Nice toe point, good body position. Setting up for his dismount. The layout half. All right, good efforts.
There's the smile.
Score on the parallel bars for Dan Dwyer of Lincoln Way, 9.0.
And Dan Dwyer's score on the parallel bars is a 9.0. And we're looking at Mike Partapillo, the senior from Glenbard West High School, the Hilltoppers.
He looks eager and ready to go.
Let me at it, Coach. I'm ready. Traditionally in men's gymnastics, of course, it's more heavily weighted on the older kids, the juniors and the seniors, simply because of physical development and the strength that it takes. And a lot of gymnasts, not a lot, but certainly there are at least some gymnasts who are not necessarily club gymnasts, who actually have begun in high school, which is rare in the girls. It's more common in guys.
It is rare, and also men's gymnastics matures later in their age as versus women. You know, you see
the physical development, sure. So you often see freshmen, sophomores excelling in the women's events, where it's a little bit more unusual. That's why Adam Furman's accomplishment is really terrific, to be a sophomore and have achieved what he has so early. And freshman Ross Bradley, boy, what a future he has. What a strong-looking young man. Does not at all compete as a freshman, nor even look like a freshman. A little bit of a weight here, and that makes it a little tougher. His coach said, relax, you're fine, no problem at all. He does look relaxed, doesn't seem to be bothering him any. You know, at this point, it's really about the fun. I think there's more stress in the team competition, and the guys are a little more stressed because they feel the responsibility toward each other.
To pull for each other.
Whereas individual events is kind of like, hey, I'm going to do everything I know how to do, lay it out there, and just see what happens. To the best
of my ability, and see what happens.
And I think they have a lot more fun in this avenue as well.
Next up on the parallel bars will be a sophomore representing Glenbard East High School.
Oh, we're having a little discussion as to whether parallel bars or horizontal bars go to next. Up, we're going with the parallel bar. So it will be Mike Partapillo from Glenbard West. And you see a few athletes. Looks like the Barrington contingent up there chatting. Competitors on one side, fans on the other. And here's Mike.
2 straddle cuts in a row to a V-hold. Right into a giant swing. Performed nicely. Nice strength move.
And sticks the landing.
That was a very clean routine.
Well, he might have waited for a while, but when he was ready, it came out just great.
It did.
The leading score on the horizontal bar is 9.7 right out of the box, Keith Christian, and still leading in the parallel bars is Matt Mihalik of 9.55. And this is going to be the Ram from Glenbard East, Tim Morrison. I've always loved their motto. RAM stands for right attitude means success.
That is a very good slogan. Handstand. He's got good swing going. Nice tight form. Front stalder. Now he's just setting up for a dismount. It's been a great routine with an excellent dismount. And a perfect landing. Getting congratulated by coaches and teammates.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be up there in the stratosphere along with the Keith Christian mold here.
I think you're right, Ann. One more look at this dismount.
Score on the parallel bars for Mike Cartafilo.
Full in with
Glenbard West,
perfect
9.2.
landing.
Next up on the parallel bars.
Mike Partapilla's score was a 9.2 on the parallel bars. The senior from Glenbard West, as you see, an extremely happy sophomore, Tim Morrison from Glenbard East. We'll wait to see what that score is, as you will now actually see the final competition in the fine career of Keith Christian, the Elk Grove Grenadier.
Just a couple of hand movements there on that handstand. Slight deduction. A little deduction there on the leg separation. I mean, just a little trouble getting all the way up to the handstand without the arm bend. Press to handstand. To the dismount off the side. He really actually didn't get that handstand all the way up, so he just struggled just a little bit in that routine, but he's had a great evening.
A great evening and a great career.
Let's look at this again. There's his pirouette. Right into his cradle. To straddle cut. A little bit loose there with the toes. Front stalder, right into eagle grip to hop. This routine is going very smooth, very fluid. Setting up for the dismount. Double layout with just a small hop.
Well, I'll tell you what, the scores are getting tougher. We told you 9-7 by Keith Christian, right out of the lead position. Then Tim Morrison's was a 9-6-5, just 5/100ths below. And now Matt Mihalik on a replay of his routine.
Showing, getting ready for that dismount. Giant into a second giant up into the double layout. Very difficult dismount.
Look at the height over the bar on his dismount. Great work by our wonderful camera crew here. Where all the work really gets done. And he's pleased. And that is Matt's final routine here at the state tournament. As you look at Phil Zoomstein, who will be next up on the parallel bars.
Parallel bars, the sophomore from Mundelein High School, Phil Zumstein.
Keith Christian's score on the parallel bars, 8.5.
Straddle cut up to the press to handstand. Little leg separation. Pirouette. 2 in a row. To a layout half. Dismount.
Fought and held it.
Which they are fighting for those landings.
I like how Phil competes.
Next up on the horizontal bar, the senior
Here we go. Swing to half.
Brett Wargo.
Right up to the handstand. Nice tight body. Just a little slight arch.
Matt Mihalik score 9.6. And this is Brett Wargo.
And right now he's swinging very fluid with his legs very tight together in his front giants into the Healy. Now getting set up for his dismount. And here it is, double back.
All right.
To the nice landing. They are getting, like you said, and way above the bar on these dismounts.
And having seen this afternoon's competition, I can tell the difference.
Score on the parallel bars for Phil Sunstein.
Here's another look at his dismount. How he lifts up and over, finds where the floor is, and takes just a slight hop.
Adam Rommel.
We have 2 competitors left in the horizontal bar and 2 in the parallel bars, and 2 of the finest. One of them, Adam Rommel.
And so far, his routine is moving really good. Great rhythm. Tight body position, good leg form. Layout hat, stuck the dismount. I think that's really going to be the key.
Oh, he is happy.
To some of these all-arounds is the landings, and these guys are fighting for them.
As the competition has heated up and gone along, so have the competitors.
Next up on the horizontal bar, a junior representing Lincoln Way High School, Dan Dwyer.
Here's another look at that dismount. Right there. Stuck landing. And Dan's working the high bar very nicely with his front giants. A little bit of trouble there. He saved it with a full and a half. And he's getting his momentum back so he can set up for his dismount, which is a double layout. Good effort in the dismount. Again, the double layout is a very difficult dismount. Tried to save it, tried to step back, and just unfortunately had to sit down. Let's take one more look. As he sets up for it, he gets great height, but as he goes to step, he had just over-rotated it.
And sometimes that's part of the problem. You get a little adrenaline going, go a little higher than you've expected to, and over-rotate just to here, and back you go. But Dan Dwyer with a wonderful routine. Couple of scores that we have to update you for is Phil Zoomstein from Mundelein, the sophomore, with a 9.2 on parallel bars, and Brett Wargo with a fine 9.45 on the horizontal bar. Dan Dwyer getting some coaching. I thought one of the neatest things was watching the coach from Elk Grove. Keith Christian finished his routine. There's a senior, he's done. As you look at Al Galati over there, one of the judges from Rolling Meadows, and bottom line is you're always coaching. He's done competing, but coaching was still going on. Here are the final team scores we mentioned being completed yesterday, and it went down to the last event with Naperville North winning their first ever boys gymnastics title. Brother Brad beating younger brother Doug Farrick from Mundelein. You notice how close those are. And Stevenson with their first ever trophy on the boys side, having taken the girls championships this year. And the final standings, Hinsdale Central, Addison Trail, Hersey, and Hinsdale South. There are some very familiar names, as you saw the dynasties shown from the 70s through the 2000, and there will be more to come. Some of the crowd giving the thumbs up to our camera crew and all the people who have competed here tonight. It's been a long 2 days and a long season, and these young men have done a tremendous job as they finish up many of their high school careers, not only in gymnastics, but looking forward to prom and graduation, all the other things that affect a student's life. AP testing, oh my gosh, it's just so many things to try to coordinate. It's amazing what high school athletes do, and it certainly is the other half of education, and takes an incredible, it's almost a full-time job for many of them.
It really is, and to see the dedication and the determination that all of the athletes have here, they are juggling a 40-hour-a-week work schedule just like their parents are, as far as with the school and the extracurricular activities and gymnastics.
Adam Rommel's score from Naperville North on the parallel bars was 8.
Our final competitor on the parallel bars is
9.45.
High School,
the IHSA org to find out what's going on in the IHSA. Click on to IHSA.org. 40 million people did last year. You be the next. Final competitor on the parallel bars.
Straddle cut right at the handstand. Nice body position in his handstands. Very nice move. Straddle cut. So far, this routine is going very well for him. And he's stuck to dismount.
What do you expect from the all-around champ?
That was an almost flawless parallel bar routine, and we should see a really big score.
Well, 9.55. Matt Mihalik has the lead score to this point.
It should be close. Let's take one more look. Straddle cut. Half turn, right into the dismount. And he stuck the landing.
Dan Dwyer scores an 8.95. This is the final competitor of the evening, Jared Erlenbaugh, the junior from Hoffman Estates.
Nice stalters that he's just performed. He did those 2 in a row. Has good control over his swing. Slight problem there with the arch and the half. But now he's getting ready for his dismount. Double back.
All right.
Stuck the landing.
Well, that's what you expect. The last man sticks it, hugs the coach.
And is he happy about that routine?
And we have completed the competition for this evening, but we have awards, and we'll be back after this message from Country Insurance. And we're now doing the awards.
Finishing in 3rd place with a score of 9.5.
For parallel bars in 5th place.
A senior from Naperville North High School, Adam Ramo.
That is Adam Ramo from Naperville North High School. In parallel bars. And Matt Mihalik, the runner-up, finishing his stellar career with a 9.55. As you see him being awarded 5th place was a tie with Mike Partapillo and Phil Zoomstein from Mundelein, and in 4th was Lucas Buchholz. And in 3rd was Adam Ramo, as we mentioned, and the 2001 Parallel Bars champion, having an unbelievable gymnastics meet the sophomore from Crystal Lake South with a 9.7. The final competitor on this event, Adam Furman.
And what a spectacular parallel bar routine that was. Absolutely incredible.
When you saw it, you knew it. And he is just going to be loaded down with all the hardware he's taking home from the weekend. There you have your parallel bar award winners for 2001. And we'll be back after these words from your local station.
Fifth place on the horizontal bar, a junior from Hoffman Estates High School with a score of 9.4, Jared Erlenbaum. Finishing in fourth place with a score of 9.45, a senior from Hinsdale Central High School, Brett Wargo. Finishing in third place with a score of 9.60, a senior from Mundelein High School, Matt Mahalik.
There you see third place, Matt Mahalik from Mundelein High School stepping onto the podium. In fourth was Brett Wargo, the senior from Hinsdale Central, 9.45. There's Matt. And in fifth was Jared Erlenbaugh from Hoffman Estates with a 9.4. Coach Dave Cowell should be thrilled about that one. The runner-up with a wonderful routine, and you saw the smile after he finished. The Glenbard East Ram, the sophomore Tim Morrison, 9.65. Just 0.05 of a point out of the state championship, but just a sophomore. And his second championship of the night, the senior from Elk Grove High School, Keith Christian, with a 9.7. He was the first competitor on this event. He threw down the gauntlet, and no one was able to pick it up. That was great. I am not worthy, looks down Jared. Yes, he is. But there is your champion for 2001, and the fans applauding the efforts of these young men in the final event of the evening in a terrific state meet. And that is the high bar, the horizontal award winners.
And congratulations to all of these young men. They all had a fantastic meet this evening.
We thank you for your participation in this.
And now a message from Country Insurance. I'm here with two of the finest senior gymnasts in the state of Illinois in 2001. On my left in green is Keith Christian from Elk Grove High School, and on my far left is Matt Mahalik from Mundelein High School. And Keith is the champion in rings and high bar, and Matt is the floor X champion and the senior gymnast. And Keith, I'd like to ask both of you a couple of questions. But Keith, one of the things that you and I talked about is what this meet has meant to you.
It's meant a lot to me. I mean, there's been a lot of great gymnasts out here with Matt and Andy Furman. I mean, it was really a good meet. Where it felt like almost like a bunch of brothers out here, and it was a great meet for all of us. And I think we all did very, very well.
Well, I know it's been a culmination of a lot of hours in the gym. How much time do you put in to get to this point?
Well, I've been working out 4 or 5 hours a day, so 5 days a week for about 5 years.
And I understand they'll be back in the gym on Monday. Matt, you are the senior gymnast. That award is a very coveted award here in the state.
Yeah, I'm very happy that, I got it. I mean, there are a lot of guys who deserve the award, not just me. I think all the senior guys that we're competing with, even on the national team and even as seniors that I know on different teams, deserve the award as well. But I'm very happy with that.
Well, I know your school has won 3 state championships and won a 2nd place this year, and yet there's individual competition. What's most important to you?
I say the team competition by far is much more important to me. I mean, the last 3 years we've won 3 state titles, and it's just the feeling of just being there with a team and helping out not more than one person is just a big, great feeling. So,
as seniors, you progress through the ranks. So do you have any advice, Keith, for the younger gymnasts?
And just never give up and give your whole heart to gymnastics.
How about you, Matt?
I'd say the advice, at least for me, from a team standpoint, is always team first, because that always plays a big role in sportsmanship, and you always end up better in the long run when you work team. I mean, it's a better feeling, and in the end, you always feel better especially winning 3 state championships and then coming in second. No matter how I finish, I always look at the team aspect first before the individual.
Well, Diane is a former national champion. You know these gentlemen are going to be going on to my alma mater, the University of Illinois, next year. And what advice would you give them as they enter the college realm of athletics?
As college gymnastics, you're going to have a lot of fun, but it's going to be the same dedication, determination, work, ethics. Your priorities will definitely change because you'll be going for a college scholarship, but you'll enjoy and have a great time. I just have one question for you guys. What are your plans after? We know you're going to University of Illinois. Do we know what our major is going to be yet?
Yeah, right now I'm going to be in the liberal arts field right now, and then hopefully I'm going to transfer into business schools.
Fantastic.
I was accepted into architecture, and I'd like to transfer to electrical engineering.
Well, it sounds like the other half of education has been completed in athletics and an education career for these 2 fine young men. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank
We
you.
wish you the very, very best, and thanks for entertaining us and encouraging us for what is ahead for the youth here in the United States. Well, I tell you what, it's been fun here from Schaumburg High School. For Diane Durham and myself, Ann Penston, we've had a great time. This has really been the culmination of 2 days of an event and a long, long year for these gentlemen, all the teams that have been here competing. And Schaumburg High School has put on an incredible show with Mary Beth Westland, director here, and John Selke, athletic director, and principal Sharon Cross. Sue Henriksen has been our executive director from the Illinois High School Association. We appreciate all the efforts of all these people to make a state meet like this possible, and the sportsmanship is the most important thing that we've seen. Schaumburg High School, home of the AA state basketball champions, as well as you see the trophy that they brought home here on this fine floor. So we've had a great time. We hope you have too. Join us next year.